Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back to another Logging from Scratch episode. Last time we were playing, we had just brought some more of that wood to the mill. We still have a little bit of a pile here, but not much. So I was whining about the grapple being really hard to load with, so the dealer swung by, and he swapped me out for this guy at no cost, just because the limitations of the Timber Pro wasn't letting me pull it in close enough to do really decent grabs. So we swapped it out with this dangle head. I don't know if it's going to be better for us or worse, but we will definitely get a chance to try that out for sure. But this episode, I would like to focus on doing some more plowing, because we do have this whole lot that's got to be plowed out before we can gravel it. So might as well get our butts to work here. And I did make some corrections with the mill, so the financial side should be a little more appropriate there. Because last time we were selling, we were getting some pretty horrendous amounts, and I'm going to chalk that up to an accounting error because it's not supposed to be that much. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of hammer down here, plow out some of this stuff. And like I said, we got to plow this whole lot here. So what I actually might do, just to kind of cut ourselves a bit of an outline, I'm going to kind of cut out just the outside edge. And I think this is pretty much all we have to do before we can start graveling and all that stuff. And like I said, we don't have to, we're not doing the graveling ourselves. We just have to pay for it, and it'll get dumped in there for us. So once the graveling is complete, and we can call the job done, get our 50 grand, and be on our way to the next project. But like I said, we want to get this one all licked up here because this was a bit of a bigger project than we're used to, so we're probably going to have a couple more small things coming up, nothing too big for a bit. But, you know, it's good to test yourself as a company once in a while and just see where your point is, where you can't quite financially do it. I mean, usually if you're smart enough, you should be doing that ahead of time and figuring out if you can do it, but you know what? It's fun to be risky once in a while, take a chance. So like I said, I just want to kind of cut out the circle here. Now, we can kind of start doing our plowing rows here. And this part might be a little bit boring, but that's the joys of plowing. You got to skid away all that rough material and clean it up and make it pretty. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So now we can either keep going back and forth in a circle, or I'm going to just cut a line right through the middle, I think, and then just go back and forth until we clean it up. The bulldozer would probably be faster because it's got a bit of a fatter blade on it, but it would be a heck of a lot slower travel time, so you got to kind of balance it out. I mean, what you could do is you could put the dozer blade on the skidder, really put it on there, but that'll probably wear it out quite a bit faster. You see how much mud we got on this bad boy. Also got to remind myself to wash these off when we bring them back, because that'll be our cost for sure. Don't really want to drop it back off the dealer all messy. Well, then again, maybe they're used to that, so we'll find out. Let's keep this thing nice and even here. So topic of the day. I guess topic of the day today would be a perfect one because I was going to do temperatures. So right now, where I live, it is currently minus 41 degrees with the wind chill. I think it's 37 right now, just base temperature. And then with the wind chill, it's minus 41. And that's Celsius, so it's quite cold. To you American people, I'm not sure what that would be in Fahrenheit. I'd have to look it up, but I think somebody told me, what, isn't like minus 50 or something Fahrenheit? Something like that. So maybe it would be like, I don't know, minus 25 or 30 Fahrenheit maybe? I don't know. You guys will have to look that up. Leave a comment. I'm sure someone will leave a comment for me to let me know what the actual temperature is. But yeah, she's cold out there for sure, so when it gets that cold, it just gets kind of silly. I'm actually going to do another trip around the track here to kind of widen my ratio. I like to do sometimes a couple thick rings around the area I'm plowing. That way, when I do these straight strokes like I'm doing right now, it's a lot easier to go just back and forth because I can turn around. I don't have to worry about cutting into the wrong part of the embankment. Kind of get a little mixed here. There we go. So yeah, minus 41. Now I know in other parts of Canada, up in the Yukon, it's like minus 50, 55 or something today, which is just absolutely crazy. But so I guess the comment question for you guys would be, whereabouts do you live, and what's the coldest you've ever seen in your lifetime for temperatures? I think the coldest I ever saw was, well, this is by far some of the coldest for sure, but I think the coldest ever was in Prince George, which isn't close to where I live. And I think it was like minus 46 or something with the wind chill. And that was more than cold enough for me. That's just crazy. That's temperatures where you go outside, and if you don't have your fingers covered up, you know, within about 60 seconds you can start getting frostbite on your hands. It's crazy. So you just want to, you know, not do that, because that's bad. So I guess we're wasting a lot of our blade here. We could move over a bit. And this will be perfect. And like I said, once we get all of this material cleared off, all the ground, then we'll be able to call on those contractors to do some sanding. Graveling, sorry. Then once we drop all that gravel in there, we can start building the guy's property, or he can start building it. We're just the clearing team, so we'll come back and take a look at it once he's got all his stuff built and figured out. But I think for the most part we'll just be doing the clearing side of things, not the building. That'll be for another construction team. Now we need to find another YouTube construction team so that I can do all the clearing and the logging, and then I can send the map off to them, and then they can do their building. I have to find somebody that does that first. Can't say I know too many people that do that. But we'll see. Yeah, and then once we get it cleaned up, he's gonna have a shed and some barns and some other stuff he's got going on. Like I said, we just get paid to clear the land and get it ready for residential. It's up to him what he wants to do with it. But like I said, the fuel costs and all that stuff, like this is all pretty crazy. Trying to figure it all out, even for 50 grand. I mean, this is probably a pretty good deal for him. Oh, there's a bit of a stump, or just a chunk. Oh, it's just a chunk of wood. Still got little bits and pieces laying around out here from when we went and bunched it all. And it seems like so long ago now. I usually try to keep like my quarter, or just over a little quarter of the blade. Maybe not a quarter, like 1/15 of the blade sticking out on my side. I think that's from lawn mowing. In real life, if you when you're lawn mowing, I usually keep about a little bit of the blade, let's say 1/8 of the blade sticking out on this side, just to do any overlap that was missed on the last one. And like you said, you kind of have to make little micro adjustments while you're going to get perfect plow. Plowing is by far the most unexciting part of logging when you're doing these little projects, but I understand the purpose. I don't know how the farming side of people do it all day long. I mean, I think a lot of people hire workers to go do the fields for them, but I can imagine just driving back and forth on a field like this. I think I would just go crazy. In this small scale like we're doing, not so bad, but in the bigger scale, I think I'm good. Although, like I said, there are other people who build full farms from these maps, which is crazy. They take them and rip them apart, and that's pretty nuts. I mean, it's cool. It's just seems crazy to me. There we go. We can lick up the rest of this. Beauty. Alright, so now we got just that one little last bit of strip done. Like I said, we should be able to get all the plowing done in this episode, which is nice. And then we get to go start a new project. But it'll be fun to come back and take a look at this once it's all done and set up. Once the gravel's in. And actually, $5 for gravel, we got a deal there, so that worked out pretty good. But maybe we might have misquoted a little bit on the how much graveling needed to be done. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do curves. So I'm going to go, instead of turning around, I'm going to cut these corners and then just loop right around and go back. That way you have a continual non-stopping motion. I kind of want to wipe that little bush out too. There we go, just like so. Perfect. Perfecto el mundo. So yeah, spite for minus 41. I mean, it was funny because last week it was almost like in the 0 to plus range, and we got so many dumps of like almost 2 feet of snow. It was crazy. And then it just dropped right off and decided it wanted to be the world-ending minus 41. Now, lots of people up who live in like Arctic climates and stuff probably are just laughing at that because those guys sometimes get up to like minus 60, 65, which is just bizarre. I don't know how anything runs up there. You must have to like specially outrig all of your equipment or vehicles and stuff with constant heaters and protective shielding and stuff from the cold. I was surprised. My truck actually fired up pretty good, but I mean, it's a gasser. I don't have a diesel anymore, so throw some synthetic in there. I don't even plug mine in anymore. It just seems pointless with synthetic now. It's the battery that's the real kicker. Back in the old days, like I said, when you're starting, everybody had crude oil, so that stuff congeals like, you can get to like minus 5 and it starts to congeal. It's brutal. But this synthetic stuff, it doesn't even start thinking about congealing until you get to like minus 50. It's really, really good. So since I've moved up into the modern times, I've never had a problem with vehicles not starting, except for batteries. Batteries are kind of a bad one up here, just because the cold really saps the life out of them. But on days like today, I just, I'll go out there every 4 to 5 hours and start it for a half hour and leave it and running. Just keeps the battery nice and charged up and warm, and if not, it kind of doesn't like life so much. Let's go plow through this stuff. It's nice that we're getting all this cleaned up, though, man. So I figured we were a long ways off doing all this, and then I was like, oh, after we got that load out last time, I was like, man, that was quick. I don't think we have any more trees, so we got that dangle head just enough for that last load to kind of test it out. At least we don't have to use it too hardcore full time. We still have our truck. Oh yeah, there's a trailer that I want to buy. That's what I want to get. There's a new trailer. I should buy that. I know I've had a lot of comments for a long time about people asking me about the trailers, and I finally did. I did build one, get one built that will haul the excavator perfectly on the pickup. So I think that will set us off for our next adventure that we're going to do. But we'll see how it goes. We will see. There we go. Yeah, and like I said, so our next episode after this one is pretty much just going to be a cleanup episode to finish off the last little bit of tops and wood there. Yeah, and then I guess we move on to our next project, because the rest of this project isn't up to us anymore. After we get it, trees removed, ground plowed, that's our gig. We paid for the gravel, but we don't actually have to do the graveling, which is nice. We just have to throw it into the budget. And then, yeah, we'll come back and check it out after it's all done, and after Farmer Buddy has all his stuff set up there. Should be good. And then we'll move our butts down the road and see what we can come up with. Look at that, just beautiful. Man, if we weren't graveling this, it would actually probably make a nice little field. But we are FDR Logging, not FDR Farming, so it's all good. I've had a lot of people tell me to give the farming a try, and I've really lightly tried it. I remember when I played with the squad there, and we were doing some sprayer stuff and playing around there, and I got kind of a rough idea of all the craziness involved, but I don't know, it just doesn't click the same for me, like Logging is like a passion for me. It's so much fun. I love it. It's great. Just doing anything related to logging in this game is so much fun, but as soon as I switch over to the farming side, it's just like, I don't know, I just lose interest entirely. And I imagine that's how lots of farmers feel about logging, right? I've tried to get lots of farmer guys to switch over to strictly logging for a while, and they're like, yeah, it was okay and fun and all, but that's not my gig. And so I totally understand when people don't want to do something that they're not necessarily used to doing. And like I said, that's totally cool. No issues there. Life happens. Look at this bad boy. Got her all plowed right out here. Cleaned right up. That's a nice little plot, too. Wonder what a guy would pay for a piece of land this big out here. Then again, we are pretty rural and out in the middle of nowhere, so probably would be pretty cheap. The hardest, most expensive part is just doing all this work and getting it ready for use. Ah, there we go. Only a couple more strokes here and she's all gone. So let's clear this bit. I was trying to think, was there anywhere else we had to put road? And I don't think so. I think this was just this area and then the main drag there. And I think that was all there was to it. So let's punch our way out of here. Beauty. And the last little strip. I think we can get that in one shot, hey? Ooh. Oh yeah, we got her. Beauty. Okay, so I want to see what the heck's going on with these. I just want to make sure these are actual pieces, and not, you know, stumps in the ground. Oh yeah, there's pieces. Let's get these, throw them off into the bush here. Do all this work and leave these ugly bits here. I don't want that. Oh, there's two there. See, if they don't see it, never happened. What happened in the kitchen stays in the kitchen. Oops. Hey. So you can't jump and do that at the same time, apparently. Awesome. Okay, well, we got that licked up pretty good. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to actually just leave this guy here. We'll deal with that after. Take a little run over here. Doot, 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 doot. Yeah, this will be actually a nice little driveway here once it gets all graveled in. Now imagine once they start graveling, they're going to start graveling from the back up to the front. So we'll see how much they get done. I think the graveling crew is coming in very, very soon. So we got to be probably get this stuff licked up here as quick as we can. Still got a little bit of stuff here, but that's no big deal. Yeah, and I mean that's kind of the curvature of the driveway that they wanted. You know, come whipping in this way and turn and lock. And then yeah, I guess we'll on the next episode we'll start playing with this guy here and get some of this stuff moved. Still got to clean up these tops. I think we should be able to do it in one load, no problem. I don't know if we'll even get 2 full bunks out of that, but we'll give it a shot. But I'm going to end it on this one, and when we come back in the next one, like I said, we'll finish loading up, we'll clean up, get some of this equipment returned back to the shop, and then get ready for our next contract. Should be fun. All right, guys, if you liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe. And if you're in the bush, don't forget to hug a tree. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.